I beg leave to ask the question standing in my name on the order paper.
My Lords, we work closely with the Money and Pensions Service and the Treasury to support the effective teaching of financial education in schools. The Money and Pensions Service has published financial education guidance for primary and secondary schools, and we will deliver webinars for schools in due course. Our national network of 40 maths hubs also supports schools to improve their mathematics teaching, including financial content in the mathematics curriculum based on best practice from East Asia.
I thank the Noble Baroness the Minister for her reply, and indeed I'm glad to hear what His Majesty's Government are doing. I don't know if the Minister is aware, but the Church of England has been working on a project called Lifesavers, which came out of one of the Archbishop's commissions, which has so far delivered financial literacy training for 30,000 school pupils and trained 2,000 teaching staff. Given that only 5% of parents believe that their children are leaving school with adequate financial literacy, what assessment has His Majesty's Government made of Lifesavers and other similar schools projects like Go Henry, and how can they help these projects as we're seeking to roll them out and increase financial literacy?
Well, the government's very grateful to organisations like Lifesavers and the important work that they do, providing very useful support to teachers and schools. According to the Money and Pensions Service, about 6.3 million children between the ages of 5 and 17 received some form of financial education across just over 100 programmes. So there is a great variety on offer across the country.
My Lords, whilst I completely understand...
Thank you. My Lords, I draw attention to my registered interest as Chair of Gamblerware. The research shows that 96% of 11 to 24-year-olds are exposed to gambling, marketing and advertising, and that exposure to gambling marketing can influence their attitudes towards gambling and the likelihood of them gambling in the future. In the light of that, can I ask what specific measures the government is taking to ensure that school children are educated about the risks, the financial risks, as well as the other risks associated with gambling?
So my noble friend makes a very important point, and risks relating to gambling are part of the RSHE curriculum, and there are two main aspects of this. One is supporting pupils to manage risk and make informed decisions in relation to their mental well-being and their behaviour online. And the second area, in relation to internet safety and harms, addresses exactly my noble friend's point, where pupils are taught about the risks relating to online gambling, including how advertising and information is targeted at them, the risks of accumulating debt, and how to be a discerning consumer of information online.
I'm glad that the Minister stressed the importance of mathematics in this context. Will she take the opportunity to inform the Prime Minister that it's facile to suggest improving maths in our school children without paying mathematics teachers enough money to encourage them to join and stay in the teaching workforce?
I have to say I don't really have any intention of saying to the Prime Minister that his plans are facile, and more importantly I would point the noble lord to the pick-up in recruitment of maths teachers following our interventions over the last 3 years.
Those young children, or those children and young people who are financially literate, are less likely to make poor financial decisions. Unfortunately, we see many children, particularly those from poorer backgrounds, not able to make those correct financial decisions. It's not just about teaching maths, it's actually having practical opportunities, practical experiences. Would the Minister perhaps reflect on how we might do that in a more coherent way across all schools, and particularly start in primary schools?
Well, I think the government would agree with the noble lord that it is that combination of the fundamental knowledge in relation to mathematics and actually reading that support financial literacy that can be taught in schools, having really high quality materials for schools to use, but beyond that, that they should have the experiences which the noble Lord refers to, and that's why we're grateful to organisations like Young Enterprise, to the Money and Pension Service for the work they do outside schools to complement what goes on inside.
My Lords, the Fraud Act and Digital Fraud Committee heard a lot of evidence that young people are particularly susceptible to fraud and also to being conned into becoming money laundering mules. So can the noble Lord the Minister assure us that the financial education will include fraud to enable young people to protect themselves from either becoming victims or from becoming unwitting criminals?
Well, certainly the aspects of the curriculum which relate to how to operate safely online include fraud, which is a growing and terrible problem, as the noble Lord rightly points out.
My Lords, whilst I would not...
Holmes.
Wellbeing sets a national goal to ensure that 2 million more children and young people across the UK receive meaningful financial education by 2030. I haven't found any evidence yet that the government has dropped this goal, although I have yet to find any evidence that the government is on track to deliver that goal. But I would like the noble lady, the Minister, to wonder how that goal can be achieved, given that research from the APPG on financial education suggests that 2 in 5 teachers are completely unaware of the legal requirement to teach financial education.
Well, I understand the direction of the noble lady's question. I would say that the data that from the APPG report, which is extremely valuable, but is a very small sample. It was, I think, 401 teachers across the 4 nations. So I think we just have to be careful about extrapolating that. But the Money and Pension Service, which is responsible for delivering the additional 2 million children receiving good financial education, has got a wide range of programmes, including support for teacher training, including communication and support for parents as well.
My Lords, I declare my financial services interest is set out in the register. Would my noble friend the Minister agree that alongside financial literacy we should also revolutionise the curriculum with data literacy, digital literacy, data privacy literacy, to have a curriculum fit for the future, fit for now? Further, would she join with me in congratulating the Right Reverend Reverend Prelate, the Bishop of St Albans, with the financial literacy initiative from the Church of England? It's clear that the Bishop and his colleagues are now engaged in both lifesavers, rightly, as well as after lifesavers.
I'm happy to congratulate the Right Reverend Prelate on his and his colleagues' contribution before, during and after life. In relation to my noble friend's question, data and digital literacy already feature within compulsory national curriculum subjects. Data literacy is covered within mathematics, science, computing and geography, and digital literacy within computing and RSHE. And they also feature within the subject content of GCSEs, which are counted within the English Baccalaureate.
You will be aware that children are particularly susceptible to advertising, especially online advertising. Could you say when the government is going to do something about gambling advertising and the effects which it has on children?
Well, I think I already, in response to my noble friend's question, addressed in part the noble lord's question, namely that we already teach children about the risks relating to advertising and information, in particular online gambling.
My Lord,
The Minister has rightly identified that there are a variety of good programmes that are out there, such as Lifesavers. But in my experience in this field and other fields, sometimes within schools, there is not always the greatest awareness of what is there. So what action, in light of, I think, one of the earlier questions which talked about coherence within the system, what actions are the government taking to ensure that schools are made aware of best practice in this field to ensure that they get the best possible provision for their young people?
So we're doing quite a lot to support schools in teaching financial literacy. So as I mentioned, we'll be delivering webinars for schools in the next academic year, which will help teachers deliver the most practical and engaging content. The Money and Pension Service has published already financial education guidance for schools, and there's a quality mark accreditation scheme, as well as the Oak National Academy will be producing curriculum packages in this area.